Hi, I'm Andrew Wasson. Thanks for joining me for my weekly guitar blog. It's July 8th, 2012, and this time around we're going to talk a little bit about triad chords. A question that came in was from Wesley. He lives in Bloomfield, Connecticut, and he wrote in saying, I'm a guitar player of 2 years and a big fan of classic rock. What I would like to understand is the topic of triads. It seems guitarists are always talking about playing the triad chords. Can you do a video lesson run through of them? I'd especially like to know which chords I should begin learning first. Thank you, from Wesley in Bloomfield, Connecticut. Well, thanks for writing in, Wesley. You know, the triads are a small group of 3-note chords that consist of 4 popular qualities, and they are the major, minor, augmented, and diminished types. I'd like to begin with a quick theory lesson covering their construction, and then we'll hit the fingerboard and run down groups of practice shapes, as well as a set of very important and very popular barre chords every guitarist should know.
When it comes to approaching these triads as chords harmonically, there's not really a lot to them. They're fairly straightforward. There's 4 types. There's a major type, a minor, and then down here you can see we have augmented and a diminished triad. Now, these can also be broken down into 2 subcategories. The upper 2 that I have here, the major and the minor, can be considered as what's called consonant or stable. You can begin or end a piece of music with those chords. When it comes to the augmented and diminished, however, these chords are more or less unstable. They want to move away from these sounds. So they're a dissonant category. Now, that's just some information on usage, but let's go now to the idea of actually applying the formulas, which is important. These are the intervals that make up the chord's construction. A major chord is just taking root, 3rd, and 5th from the major scale. When we create minor, we lower the 3rd degree, so we have a flatted 3rd or a minor 3rd, thus creating the minor color. And when we move to the world of augmented, this chord is basically, as you can tell, a major chord, but it happens to have a raised 5th interval on it, so augmented 5th. And in the world of diminished, as you could probably tell by now, this chord is more or less minor due to that minor 3rd there, but it also contains a diminished 5th, a flatted 5. So that, like I had mentioned, is all there really is to the world of triads harmonically. Let's jump to the guitar neck next, and I'd like to play through a couple of exercises here and get you custom on how these things are sitting on the fingerboard.
In going through these triad shapes, we're going to pick the root of A, starting on the 6th string, and we're going to cover a whole bunch of inversion processes going along the neck. Now, if you're not familiar with what an inversion is, it's when you place a note other than the root in the bass. Now, the notes in an A major triad are A, C sharp, and E, and we're going to begin with the root, 3rd, and 5th, A, C sharp, and E, off of that low string. So we're going to focus on major triads in the beginning off the root of A. We're going to start there, then we're going to hit a first inversion with C sharp in the bass. And then we're going to go to second inversion over here in the 6th position with E in the bass. And then we're just going to start again in root position. And then we're going to take it all the way to 9th fret for that last shape. So those are the majors I'd like you to practice. All the tab is at the lower portion of the screen. You can just follow along. And let's move on next to the minors. In the minor set, we have root as A again, and then going to C natural, because remember it has a lowered 3rd, and then the E again is up top. So root, lowered 3rd, 5th, A, C, E off of the A root there from A minor. And then we're just going to follow suit, doing those same positions. Now, of course, though, with the lowered 3rd of the chord. All right, now we're going to move next over to the world of diminished, and we're going to start again on A. We have a minor 3rd, and we also have a diminished 5th up there. So it's a bit of a stretch. So that's going to be the notes of A, C, E flat. Then we're going to go off of the C note to the E flat to the A. So we have our first inversion with C in the bass. Now we're going to shift positions to the E flat note being in the bass, in the 5th position on the neck there. And then we're going to come from the A note, start a new root, flat 3, flat 5. And we're going to take the top 3 strings, and we're going to hit up the neck to the 8th position, do a barre, and catch these 8th, 10th, and 8th fret notes up there. And those are your diminished shapes. Now let's move over to the augmented shapes. Again, we're starting on A. We have a C sharp, and then we have E sharp. I know it looks like F. Everybody gets a little bit messed up on this kind of thing, but even though it looks like F, we have to call it E sharp because it's a sharp 5. So that's our first layout there. A, C sharp, and E sharp. That's called an enharmonic equivalent. It looks like an F, but it's actually an E sharp in the theory of the chord construction. Okay, let's keep going. Starting on the 4th fret of 5th string, we're going to have another layout of C sharp to E sharp to A. And we're going to take that shape and actually slide it up over to the 6th position, and we'll have an E sharp to an A to a C sharp. Then we're going to go from the A, and we're going to do the next 3 notes. So now we have A, C sharp, E sharp. Every time we hit that 4th string, we're starting at root position again. Here's our top 3 strings, going from the C sharp to the E sharp to the A. And then we're going to go up the neck a little bit here and use this shape again at the 9th position, traveling from E sharp to the A to this C sharp on top. And that's all of them. So now we've covered the major, minor, diminished, and augmented all across the neck with a good practice routine so you can get used to the individual shapes. But I did want to also cover the important chords to begin with, the ones that you should learn first. And it's just a small batch of 4 triad bar chords. We're going to do them off of A as well in the 5th fret area here. We're going to start with a 6-string root A, doing a rather large A major triad bar chord. Now, I know you may look at this and think, okay, there's 6 notes in there, there's 6 strings in there, but there's really only 3 notes. And we're just repeating a lot of them. Now, if you'll recall, in an A major triad, we have A, C sharp, and E. So let's count through, or explore through the shapes there, through the shape, the notes specifically that we have. We have an A, an E, another A C sharp, another E, and another A. So there are only the notes of A, C sharp, and E in this shape. We just have, in this particular voicing, we have quite a few duplicates. Now, to turn this A major chord into a minor, all you do is lift off your middle finger, and you generate that A minor chord by getting the C sharp to move into C natural. That's the flat 3rd, and that's how we're creating that A minor sound. So those are the 2 off of the 6-string root. I also want to do 2 more bar chord shapes that I think are very important, built off 5th string root. We're going to do these off the root of D. And we'll start on the D note at the 5th fret of 5th string, and then we're going to use the ring finger to just lay it flat and get the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings barred across 7th fret region there to create a D major chord. Now the notes in this chord are D, F sharp, and A for that triad. And again, the voicing is important with these so you understand that we do have duplicate notes. We have an octave actually of D. So we're going D, A to another D, and then the F sharp is right at the top. Now let's convert this shape into minor. We're going to go into the minor next here. All we do is refinger. We're going to use index, ring finger, small finger, and middle finger to add in, of course, the F natural. We have to flat the 3rd when we're converting major triads to minor triads. So the F sharp will just drop down to F natural, and there we go, we have D minor. And you can also bar and catch the high 1st guitar string as well. We'll get an extra 5th chord tone in there, another A basically. And now we can have 5 notes in that D minor. Now just another thing I'd like to present to you is that these are completely movable. You can move them anywhere you'd like. The roots are just off of the 5th string. And if you wanted to do the same with the 6-string roots I had shown you previously, they can move anywhere. The root is just down there off that 6th string. They're very good triad bar chords to know. They're very important, and certainly they're the ones to learn first. Well, as you can tell, the topic of triad chord types isn't a very deep, all-encompassing area of study. Out of the 4 chord quality types, we have the major and minor is the most widely used, and certainly the ones to learn first. And those bar chords that we discussed are also very important shapes to get down as well. So work on all of this information, especially if it's new to you. Strive for a real clean tone with all the notes ringing properly as they should. And of course, memorize everything in all the keys. Anyway, once again, that's about all the time I have for today. As always, I hope these explanations help you. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great week, and I'll catch up with you next time. Bye for now.